So it has been a good long day at PAX East. I'm not at PAX East anymore. Where am I, good sir?
Yeah, you are at the Made in Massachusetts after party, I guess you could call it.
Very, very nice. Now, what's going on at this here after party? Is it focused on games made in Massachusetts?
Primarily, it's essentially a developer meetup where developers who mostly live and work in Massachusetts, but some from other places get together and, hang out, have fun, talk to each other.
Very cool. So now, is there any sort of educational focus here? It seems to be that way.
There are a lot of student programs for game development in Massachusetts, including the one I'm associated with. So you'll find a lot of students here.
Now, which student program are you with, may I ask?
I am part of Glowlime Games, which is a student organization centered around the 5 colleges area in Amherst, Massachusetts. And we were founded to essentially give students in our area more chances to work on game development.
Well, that's very cool, I gotta say. Now, how long have you been into game development yourself?
Myself, I've been into game development, how long would that be? 6-ish years, but not like professionally, more, taking the baby steps and then going to college, and then now I'm a senior hoping to graduate soon. So
that's fantastic. Now, has the game dev scene here in Boston, has it been very supportive?
This is the first time I've been in Boston, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So I've mostly been in central Massachusetts area. The local developers in that area have been very supportive of us. We interact quite a bit with a group called the Pioneer Valley Game Developers, who are a group of essentially the game developers local to the area called the Pioneer Valley got together and sort of made an organization so they can hang out, network, exchange ideas. And they've been very supportive of Glowlime.
Okay, well that is really cool.
Yeah.
So you found yourself a good group that supports you. So now another thing I want to ask is, have you always wanted to be a game designer or developer?
I've always wanted to be somewhat involved in the creation of stories. It was sort of an open question into which medium until, as I said, about 6-7 years ago when I, started working on game projects. It was like, oh yeah, this is definitely what I want to do.
Now, something I've been asking all developers, what is your favorite game of all time?
My favorite game? I'm actually really bad at favorites because I don't tend to be like...
Yeah.
I tend to be like, I like this one and I like this one, but I don't want to be like, this one's the best. The one I talk about a lot is Sins of a Solar Empire because of how they managed to pull off an impressive story without a story mode. So it's a strategy game, and they managed to pull off a fairly deep story with only the gameplay and the intro videos to the game and its various expansions over a certain period of time. So it's impressive to me, and I like how they integrated the story into the gameplay and the mechanics and the stats and such. And so that's why I tend to bring it up, because it's an interesting take on narrative design, which is what I'm interested in.
Really cool. So what are some of the challenges you've encountered so far as a game dev?
Well, I've been one of the interesting experiences and great learning experiences of being a student game dev is that you are always confronted with your limitations as a student in a way that you aren't often as a hobbyist, because as a hobbyist you can just often keep going and going and going and going. But as a student, you have deadlines. You have to turn this in by this date for class. You have to, and even in Glowlime, which isn't so much class oriented, we still are, like 1 semester, 2 semester long projects. So, when you're done, you gotta be done, So it's tricky. It forces you to think a lot more along the lines of scope. And I'm not entirely sure I've mastered it yet, but we'll see. We'll see how things turn out. I'm working hard on it.
So what's been your favorite part of the process so far?
Making things that are cool. That's honestly sort of why you go into it, and it's what I'm happy about at the end of the day. It's like, it works. It's it's interesting. It's fun. People like it.
I hear you. Make cool things, man.
Yeah.
So now let's say you want to find out more about Glowlime Games. Where can folks go?
Sure. We have a website, glowlime.com, and there are tabs at the top that tell you all about things like our games, who we've got working on things. Most of our information is there. You can also email certain people on the management team. I believe if you go into the managers section of the website, you'll find a list of us. And these are all students, by the way, all student managers, an entirely student-run organization. And some of our emails should be there, and you can email us.
Very cool. Well, folks, you're going to want to take a look at Glowlime Games. It could be up and coming. Sir, it has been a pleasure chatting with you. Hope you enjoy the rest of your PAX.
Thank you.
So I'm here at Glowlime Games, and I'm checking out this one game called Letters to Read, and I'm chatting with its developer, Isaiah. Isaiah, could you tell us a little bit more about your game?
Oh, absolutely. So Letters to Read is a narrative experience dealing with patterns of grief and overcoming grief.
Very cool. So now can you give us how does it play?
Right, of course. So basically the player is exploring this 2D world, climbing ladders, navigating through caves, and they're finding memories in the form of letters that the main character, the protagonist, has written to this deceased relative.
Wow, that's very interesting. So what made you want to make a game like this?
So yeah, I'm definitely not the creative mind behind it. That's Martha Hollister, another fourth year at Hampshire College where I attend. But for me, I just thought it was a really interesting concept and really interesting narrative opportunity. So yeah, definitely made me want to sign on as a programmer for it.
It's really cool. So what made you want to get into game development in the first place?
So yeah, I originally took a programming class in my first year of college, Intro to Programming in Unity, and really enjoyed it and found that I had a bit of an aptitude for it. So yeah, I've just been doing more and more programming work since, and primarily in games.
That's really cool. Now, I have to ask this of every developer. What is your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time would probably be The Last of Us.
Very, very strong narrative experience, I guess that's the sort of thing you're into?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say narrative games, strategy games, and then, just Smash Bros. Just for the fun of it. Oh, yeah.
So now, just out of curiosity, are there any big challenges you've run into in your time developing games?
Yeah, I think that, obviously I'm still a student in my fourth year at Hampshire, like I said, and I think it's definitely a big challenge trying to meet people where they are in terms of the learning process of learning to be a developer, learning to be a team member, learning to be a programmer. So yeah, it's always tricky, I think, working with people of wildly varying experience levels and trying to still have smooth collaboration between those individuals.
Here you go on that. So now, let's say folks want to find out more about your game, Letters to Read. Where can they go?
Yeah, so for Letters to Read or any of the other games you can see here at Glowlime's table, they should go to glowlime.com. We've got a Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, itch.io, YouTube, so all the social links can all be linked off of there.
Very cool. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, Isaiah. I hope you enjoy your PAX.
Thank you, you too. Take care.